Hello guys, welcome to Study IQ. I'm Safir. In this session, we are going to continue our discussion on art and architecture. So we have completed the Indus Valley civilization and then we have discussed the Mauryan period. So in this session, we will be focusing on post-Mauryan period. Okay, so the topic for today's discussion is actually post-Maurya period. Okay, so if you see post-Maurya period, in fact, who's the last Mauryan ruler? It is Brihatratha. Okay, so Brihatratha was the last Mauryan ruler during 185 BC, and you know Mauryan rulers were actually the followers of Buddhism, right? And then he was also a follower of Buddhism, and his commander was actually following Brahminic tradition, so he was not interested in all those things, so he actually assassinated Brihatratha. Okay, so the commander is Pushyamitra Sunga. Pushyamitra Sung. Okay, so he was actually a Brahmin and he assassinated the last Mauryan ruler and established Shunga Dynasty. So that is how the Mauryan era came to an end. Okay, so the Mauryan period came to an end. Now, why this period is called as post-Mauryan period? Why it is more significant? Now, guys, if you look into this, I have already discussed the Ashoka and his policies also, and I've told you after pre-Kalinga, post-Kalinga, there was changes in policy. So he used to follow that military conquest, but then post-Kalinga war, he stopped that policy. And because of that, the might of the Ashoka, or in fact the Mauryas, are actually getting weakened. Their control in different areas are actually getting weakened. The financial resources are also getting weakened because they are not trying to expand their territory, or they don't have control in much areas at that point of time now. Their control in different areas are actually getting weakened. The financial resources are getting weakened, the areas under control is getting weakened. So if you see here, the Shunga dynasty was actually a very small dynasty, and at this point you can see across India. So when you see, before we were talking about one dynasty, a big dynasty, but now that's not the case. Across India you will see different rulers. For example, northwest region you will find one dynasty, and then Rajasthan region, Gujarat region, the southern region, you will see different rulers or dynasties. So it's not that big one like what we have seen so far. So it's like scattered. So we will be seeing the developments in each of these. Okay, so the post-Mauryan period. Why it is known as post-Mauryan period? I hope you understood. It's just like, okay, if you see this one, the Kushana dynasty also came. So Kushana Dynasty. So these are different rulers, right? So Kushana dynasty, if you see, that's in the entire Pakistan region, Afghanistan region, and the India's Punjab, western UP also will be covered, the Himachal Pradesh, that region, and everything will be covered in that Kushana dynasty. Apart from that, you have in Rajasthan area, Indo-Greek started coming, so that Milinda dynasty, okay? And in the Gujarat region, you will see Shakas. So my point is, different region, different rulers. So actually India was divided into pieces, and different pieces are under the control of different dynasty or different rulers. And that's the reason why we call this period as post-Mauryan period. In post-Mauryan period, you will witness something like this. And if you go to south, in that southern part, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, there were Chera, Chola, Pandya rulers were there. So out of this, you can see only here, Shunga dynasty, you will see, Brahmin following. Others all are following Buddhism. So Shunga dynasty, actually I've told you, established by Pushyamitra Sunga, who was actually a Brahmin. So they follow the Brahminical tradition, right? But apart from that, all others are followers of actually Buddhism. So all other area, it is actually Buddhism, and Shunga dynasty, that area, they're following Brahminical tradition, and Brahmanism was actually flourishing over there. But other areas, Buddhism was flourishing. So this is what we need to discuss. So that's about post-Mauryan period, and what all things is important for us in this particular area. We are looking at art and architecture. So here we have to look for the caves. Okay, we will look for stupas, And guys, Stupas, major developments have actually happened during the Mauryan period, and in fact mostly under Ashoka. So we discussed about that already. So, but some modifications, some decorations, some changes has been made even in those Sachi Stupa also. We will be talking about that. And then we will also look into the sculpture. So sculpture we will discuss in detail, Gandhara, Mathura, Amaravati, the way, the differences and all those things, the purpose, influence and all those things, which religion it is connected and all. This is something which I will be giving more importance. Apart from that, if you see caves, we will see the structure of caves. Based on the structure, you have three types. We will discuss that. And then based on the purpose, there are two types. So there are two different purposes there for the caves. We'll have to see that. So let's start with the first one first, that is caves. So caves. So as I've told you, caves, I divide this into three kinds based on the structure. So on the basis of structure, I divide this into three types. So the first one is apsidal vault with pillar caves. Okay, so apsidal vault with pillar caves. So guys, it's like this. You will be making something like this. Okay, and then you will make like this, and then what you can do is okay, so this part need to be removed actually. Just let me try that, but it is going completely. So I want to remove this part like this. So this portion need to be removed, okay, and then it should look like this. So like this, okay. So this is the apsidal vault with pillar caves, and I need to add the pillars also. So like this, there will be pillars. So I'll just add the pillars here. Okay, and this is what you mean by the apsidal vault with pillar caves. So this is the pillar. Okay, you can see this one is the pillar, and this is how the shape look like. So this is what apsidal vault with pillar caves. Now, what are the examples? You have this Ajanta, okay, Ellora, Karla caves. Okay, so Ajanta, Ellora, Karla caves, and you can see all are in Maharashtra, and in fact 95% of what all caves that we are going to discuss here are in Maharashtra only. So that's the first one. So what will be the second one? That will be without pillar. So the same will be the case. Okay, so the second one is apsidal vault without pillar. So it will be the same structure, guys. It will be something like this. So I'll make directly like this. Okay, so something like this. Guys, for a better clarification, you can just look into the internet, because I am not able to draw properly here. So okay, so something like this. Now earlier you have seen there were pillars here. Okay, now there is no such pillar. So this is what apsidal vault without pillar. So the example would be Tana Nadsur, okay, which is again in Maharashtra. And the third one is the quadrangular hall flat roof curve. So quadrangular hall and flat roof curve, and making that flat roof was actually very difficult. So among all these three, you can see the third one is going to be slightly difficult to make, because cutting the rock and making that flat roof is going to be very difficult task. It's not possible, but making like this is easy, right? Even if you go with the metro, when you're taking out when you're digging the stones and rocks, it will be like that kind of structure, right? So flat roof is going to be slightly difficult. So it's like this only, four-sided. It's just like a room. So quadrangular hall. So it's like four-sided, and then there will be flat roof, like a room. So for example, Condivite. That is again in Maharashtra. Okay, now we need to see the purpose. So caves, we have seen 3 on the basis of structure. So these are the 3: apsidal vault with pillar, apsidal vault without pillar, and the quadrangular hall, flat roof curve. And we have seen the example of each. Now we will see the caves based on purpose. So based on purpose, I have 2. One is Chaitya and then Vihara. Okay, so we have this one, Chaitya and Vihara. So if you see Vihara, it is a small compartments which is meant for shelter. Even before also, when I talked about Ashoka, I have told you we have constructed shelter caves for Ajivika sect. So this is Vihara is something like a small compartments meant for shelter of monks. They used to come here, they used to sit here, they used to have their own, closed ones, and they used to confess things also. So this is the purpose of Vihara, okay, and that is one type. And Chaitya means this is the big prayer halls. This is big prayer hall. So on the basis of purpose also, we are dividing into 2. So that's about the caves based on the structure. There are 3 types, and based on the purpose, there are 2 big prayer halls and the small compartments where the monks can come and take shelter. Okay. Now we will look into the stupas. So guys, I've told you already the major developments in stupas have actually happened during Maurya period and mostly during Ashoka period. So we have seen Ashoka have developed that 9 stupas, and we discussed all the 9 names, and then we have also seen that he constructed around 84,000 stupas, which include outside India also, right? So some new developments which have happened during this period in the existing stupas. Now what are the new developments? Like, if you remember that Sanchi stupa that we have discussed, I have talked about a Pradakshin Path. You can just go back and you can watch that. In fact, I have already discussed and I've drawn and I've shown that there was a Pradakshin Path which was constructed. So here, these people have added one more Pradakshin Path. So that is one addition which has been done. So one more Pradakshin Path added. Okay, so at Medipat on Sachi Stupa. So that is the first one. And then if you remember, I have discussed about this Vedika. What is Vedika? Vedika was the boundary wall. And there the boundary wall was actually made with wooden things, but now it has been changed to stones. So Vedika walls which has been constructed with wood before, now this period it has been replaced with stones. So this is another change. So one Pradakshina added, and then Vedika, which is nothing but the boundary or the walls which was made with wood, now has been replaced with stones. And this period is also known for worship of Manushi Buddha. What is Manushi Buddha? It is the human form of Buddha. So Manushi Buddha means it is actually idol worship started. I've told you the relics of Buddha was kept right in the stupas. So and I've told you once it is done, once that structure is made, then there was no entry. So now here during this period onwards, worship or Manushi Buddha. The period is known for worship of Manushi Buddha, that is a human form of Buddha, and the idol worship actually started. So this is what you need to know about stupas. The 3 developments, one more Pradakshina was added, and Vedika, the boundary wall which was wood, now replaced with stones, and then this period is known for the worship of Manushi Buddha, the idol worship or the human form of Buddha. Now the next is going to be the most important of this, as I've told you in the beginning itself, sculptures. And they used to ask question time and again in prelims as well as in mains. So sculptures. Okay, so 3 schools or 3 styles you will see here. So developed during this period. What are they? Gandhara, Mathura, and Amaravati. So these are the three schools or three styles of sculptures which has been developed during this period of time. So what we need to do now is we need to make a comparison. We need to understand the differences between Gandhara, Mathura and Amaravati. So there are, contradicting, the kind of differences there between Gandhara and Mathura, though both are patronized by the same ruler, but there are a lot of contradicting things are there. So what we will do is first we will make a comparison between Gandhara and Mathura, and after that we will talk about Amaravati, so that it is very easy for you to remember things. So first we will make a comparison with these two. So guys, what I can do is I can discuss on the basis of what I am making the comparison, and then I will go for Gandhara and I'll go for Mathura, and then I'll go for Amaravati. So let's start with the first one, that is the material used for the construction of this. So the material used for construction means when I talk about materials, it's like whatever was easily and locally available is what actually used over there. So if you see this Gandhara, it was mainly in Afghan and northern Pakistan region. So the material which was actually very much easily available over there was grey sandstone with blue schist. So the grey sandstone with blue schist. Okay, so this one, SCHIST. So this is what actually used as the material in the Gandhara. In Mathura, it was quite reddish, so it is the red sandstone. Red sandstone. And in Amaravati, if you see Amaravati, where it is not in Maharashtra, it is actually in Andhra Pradesh. Now it is actually in Telangana. Okay, so this is not the Amaravati that I am talking about, which was in Maharashtra. So this is in AP. So I'll just complete it. Amaravati, and this is Mathura, and this is Gandhara. Okay, so the material used is actually white marble. White marble. So you can see grey sandstone with blue schist. That's what in Gandhara. Mathura, it is red sandstone, and Amaravati, it is white marble. So now we will look into the area. Already I have discussed, right? So this is in the northwest frontier province. So northwest frontier province. And this one, if you see, this is in the western UP and parts of Rajasthan. Western UP and parts of Rajasthan. So this one, here it will be in the lower Krishna Godavari Valley. Krishna Godavari Valley, the lower Krishna Godavari Valley. Okay, now who patronized it? So when I say patronized, which ruler funded, which ruler protected? So that is what I mean by patronizing. So patronizing. So who patronized? Who are the rulers who funded? So it was in like Kushana. This is Kushana, and even if you see Mathura also under the control of them only. So their dynasty extend till Mathura. So this is also Kushana. Okay, and this one Satvahans and Ikshvakus. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Satvahans. Excuse me for the pronunciation. And then Ikshvakus. Okay, Ikshvakus. So you can just refer how it is actually pronounced correctly. So Ikshvakus. So Satvahans and Ikshvakus. So these two, Kushawa. Okay, so they were patronizing it. And how it was influenced? Is there any local influence or any outside influence or anything? Gandhara, obviously, that is Greco-Roman influence. Okay, and this is indigenous. Mathura, it is indigenous. No outside influence or anything. This is also indigenous. So that means there is no outside influence. But this one was influenced by Greco-Roman structure. Now, about religion, it represents which religion? If you see, the Gandhara represent, these are sculptures of Buddhism only. So only Buddhism. But when it comes to Mathura, there were, there were sculptures of Buddhism and Hinduism also and Jainism also. Like you will see sculptures of Vishnu, etc. So Buddhism, Hinduism and Jainism. So related to these sculptures were related to all these three religions. Mathura sculptures. This is only Buddhism, and this one Amaravati also related to only Buddhism. So Amaravati and Gandhara, related to only Buddhism, whereas Mathura related to Buddhism, Hinduism and Jainism. So guys, this much I hope very clear for all of you. So Gandhara, Mathura, Amaravati are the three different style or school of sculptures that we are discussing under post-Mauryan period. So the material used, you can see whatever is locally available, grey sandstone with blue schist, and then red sandstone for Mathura, and then Amaravati it is white marble. Area, no issue. Patronizing, both were Kushana and the other Satvahans, okay? And influence, not influenced by outside Mathura and Amaravati, indigenous, but this one Greco-Roman influence. And Mathura was having sculptures related to all the three religions, Buddhism, Jainism and Hinduism. But Gandhara and Amaravati was related to only Buddhism. So now what I will do is, I'll be discussing the features, and that's from where they used to ask questions in prelims as well as in mains. So features, it is easy to understand between Gandhara and Mathura because it's like opposite, it's like contradictory. So what we discuss here, exact opposite is what you discuss over there. Out of 10 features, if you discuss, 90% will be like that only. So what we will do, first we'll make a comparison between Gandhara and Mathura. Let's understand that, and then we will shift to the third one, that is Amaravati. So guys, let's talk about Gandhara and Mathura. The differences is what we are the features. So the spiritual face of Buddha is what you will see in Gandhara, means a sad face, okay? So spiritual depiction of Buddha or a sad kind of face is what you will see. So like half eyes closed like that. So a sad kind of face or a spiritual depiction of Buddha. On the other hand, if you look into this is a delighted and pleased Buddha. So delighted and pleased Buddha. Guys, I'm just talking about the facts which is required for exam. Now again, if you see here in the Gandhara, it is like the hairstyle, it's like curly or wavy hair, okay? So curly or wavy hair. On the other hand, it's like Mathura, you will see combed hair, okay? So perfectly combed hair. As you see, it's a delighted and pleased version. So everything will looks good and pleasing and appealing. So combed hair is what you will see. Here, as it is a sad face, you will find things in that way only. Like face, if you see bearded or mustaches there. But here it will be shaved face, okay? So here I can write bearded or with mustache face. So here it will be shaved face. So you can see both are opposites, right? On one side it is spiritual depiction, the sad kind of face. On the other side, pleased look is what you're actually seeing, delighted look. So hairstyle again based on that. Face look is also like that. And here no ornaments are worn, and here there are ornaments, okay? So that is something which you can see as the difference. And here if you see the clothes, it's like torn and less clothes. Here full body clothes, proper full body clothes. And here like in the sad face, you will see his veins are visible, his muscles are visible, and like a fatless body. On the other side, you will see a rounded fat. It's not fat, it's not the way you see here, okay? So I would say veins and muscles are visible, okay? So here it is like a round body. Now so this is how it is, but there is something which is common in both. Guys, both of them consider Buddha as Bhagwan, right? So for them, Buddha is actually God. So what is common? Both of them will worship. So there is halo like behind the head, right? There is something like that light thing. So halo is present behind the head in both. So here also it is there, here also it is there. Protuberance, okay? So other name of halo is protuberance. You can just write that also, protuberance. Halo is present. So that is common here and here. That you can see both in Gandhara and Mathura. Otherwise, everything is polar opposites. This is spiritual look, delighted and pleased look. Hairstyle, you can see combed hair and curly hair. Beard, mustache, shaved face. No ornaments, ornaments. Torn less clothes, full body clothes. Veins, muscles are visible round. It's very easy to remember. If you can, one is enough to know the other also. And what is common in both? Both of them consider Buddha as their god. So both of them worship, and then halo is present in both. Okay. Now let's also talk about. Okay, guys. If you see, just before I have discussed about Roman features of Gandhara, right, and the Greek features of Gandhara. If you see here. Greco-Roman influence was there. That means there were Roman influence and Greek influences also there. So let me briefly tell you what is that Greek features which are influenced in this, what are that Roman features. So that will be reflected in the Gandhara. So before I discuss Amaravati, I'll just discuss about the Roman features of Gandhara. They can ask you like this itself. So mainly tall statue, okay, and then they used to wear robes, Italian robes. It's related to cloth. They used to wear that robes, okay. And then what about the Greek features? Graceful face. Guys, if you see one of the Greek god, the god Apollo, very pleasing, appealing, graceful face, right? So, graceful face is one feature. Then, very broad shoulders, okay, and large forehead, and large earlobes. So, in case if they're asking the features of Gandhara, and from where it has been influenced, so you will be able to see that. That's why it has been discussed. So in Mathura, in Hinduism, the sculptures, if you see Mathura, I have told you, it is not only Buddhism, Hinduism is also there. So Buddhism, we discussed about Buddha. So in Hinduism, what will be reflected? So in Mathura, if you see Hinduism, it is the Vishnu and Shiva were made. The Linga form of Shiva was more prevalent. The Shiva Linga was more prevalent. Vishnu, Shiva sculptures or the statues were more prevalent with respect to Hinduism. So I've told you already, in Gandhara it's only Buddhism. In Amaravati also it's only Buddhism. Mathura, Buddhism, Jainism and Hinduism is also there. So Buddhism we discussed already. So Hinduism, that is sculpture, so this related to Vishnu and Shiva was actually made. And let's quickly look into Amaravati also. Amaravati. So actually Jataka panels were made. It's not like one single statue. It's like more statues are clubbed together with the pieces, and then they will give you a story. They will give you background information. The story will be given to you. So different things are there, right? So many characters are depicted in one sculpture itself, and each character will tell you some story. So and this different stories were actually made. That is what you mean by Jataka stories. So instead of making a single sculpture, there will be panels which are made, drawn, which will tell you different stories. Okay, so that is what you can see in Amaravati. So in which many sculptures will be carved out, and they will all tell you different stories. So, and this will be in the same panel. Okay, so one example, Queen Maya Devi, Dream Jataka story. Okay, and Buddha conquering Mara Vijay army. Mara Vijay is a ghost, the demon within us only. So Queen Maya Devi, a Jataka story, something which you can remember. So that's it, guys. So this is what you need to remember about the sculpture. So I hope we have done with the session. Post-Mauryan period, the developments we have done. That is the caves. We discussed the structure 3 types and the purpose 2 types, and then stupas, not much development, but some modifications have been done, that this production, but then all those things. And then the sculptures, mainly 3 schools or 3 styles, Gandhara, Mathura and Amaravati. So I hope all of you understood whatever we discussed, and this is what important for your exam. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be continuing in the next session. Okay, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. That's it, guys. See you soon in the next session.